All right, so now we're going to go and look at calendars. The calendar is an important part of your project because it kind of dictates when you do work and when you don't do work on your tasks. And what we're looking at right now, this particular project, it's using what is called the default standard calendar. And all that means is that we work 52 weeks out of the year, and all we have is Saturday and Sunday off, and that's why you see the little gray background there. But throughout the week, we work from 8 to 12, 1 to 5, and that's it. So your particular situation might be different. You might be where you work 7 days a week, or you work maybe 4 days a week. Maybe you don't work Fridays, all right? Or maybe you work Monday through Saturday, let's say, all right? So whatever your situation is, the program can accommodate that. And of course, by those kind of things changing, that in a big way will change your scheduling. So imagine if you worked Saturdays as well, then your finish date for this particular project would be much before this date because of the fact that you're now working 6 days a week instead of just 5, right? So you're going to get it done faster. And if you had all 7 days that you're working, then it's going to be even better. Maybe not for your workers, but for your schedule, it'll be great. Now you can actually go into the personalized setup area. Let me show you where that's at. If you go over into File here and go down to Options and then go into Schedule, you're going to see all about how Project looks at different things. You can see how the calendar is set up where the week starts on a Sunday, the fiscal year starts in January, the default time, start time is 8 o'clock, and the end time is 5 o'clock. There's 8 hours in a day, there's 40 hours in a week, and there's 20 days in a month. So what that part means is that earlier when you were specifying durations, if you would have said, okay, this particular task is going to take 2 days, well, in essence, 2 days is really going to be 16 hours, right? So whether you typed in 2D or 16H, it'll be the same thing. When it comes to the weekly view thing, imagine if you had typed in 1W. Well, 1W is the same as 40 hours, okay? So that's how that works. And if you were to type in 1M for the duration, then that would have given you 1 month, which is equal to 20 days. Very interesting. But it isn't always 20 days or 20 working days a month. It might be off a little bit due to, leap years and things like that, and just how many days are in the month. So that's why we like to either schedule by using hours or by doing days, because that's easy to discern. So if you wanted to change any of these things, I can't imagine why, but if you did, you could do it all here. If you're like a factory, let's say, and you've got different projects going on there, you might be sitting there saying, well, the factory is going 24/7, all right? So in that case, then of course your hours per day would be what? Would be 24. So you go in here and change that. So, and then when you're scheduling, you'd want to then use hours. So if you're running 24 hours a day, you might say, okay, this particular task is going to take 6 hours. This particular task is going to take 18 hours, right? So what happens, you'll get the 6-hour task, and right after that is the 18-hour task. They'll come right after it, and most of that day would be taken up, or the whole day would be taken up, and then some into the next day, right? So that's the kind of thing that you'd be looking at. As far as the hours per week, I guess you'd have to sit there and say, well, if we got 24 hours per day, we take the 24 times the 7, right? And that would give us then the hours per week if you wanted to do it that way. That's what you would change here. But the way we're going to work it in these videos is we're just going to be working, with standard, 8, 40, and 20 here, okay? Anyway, so you'd make your changes, hit OK, and then you get on with your work here. So now what we're going to do is look at creating a calendar for our particular project. And we'll do a couple different calendars so you can kind of see the differences here. But the first one we'll do is going to be one where we're going to assume that we work, let's say, Monday through Thursday. So we have actually Friday off and Saturday and Sunday. So we're going to create a calendar where Friday is also part of the weekend. All right. So where we don't work Friday. So we work 4-day work weeks basically, right? Okay, so how are we going to pull that off? Well, we're going to create a calendar that will do that, and then we'll apply the calendar to our project, and you'll see how it changes, okay? So we'll start out with that one. So how do we do the calendar? We go over to Project, and we go over here to Change Working Time, all right? And what we're going to do is we're going to create, the standard calendar is the one that I described earlier, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and 52 weeks out of the year and all that. So we're going to tell it we want to create a new calendar, all right? And this one's going to be called the 4-day. So the 4-day calendar, all right? That's simple. Once we've done that, it's going to be made from a copy of the standard calendar. That's fine. Hit OK. And now you'll see up here 4-day. So now anything we do here will be for that and not the standard. All right. Next thing we want to do is we want to specify that we have Fridays off, period. So we're going to go ahead and click on the work weeks right there. And we're going to set the default here. And we're just going to go over here. And we're going to type. Then we're going to go over here to details. And we're going to specify that. Now, if you look at this, Sunday, nothing there. Saturday, nothing there. But Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, it shows, the working time. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell it on Friday that this is a non-working time. So just like that. So just by doing that, we hit OK. That's it. So when you look at the calendar here, the gray for Saturday and Sunday meant that we were off. Well, now we have gray for Friday. And that is a default that happens for eternity. That's it. That's pretty easy to do. All right. Okay, so that's all we're going to do for this calendar. That's it. We're not going to worry about holidays. We'll do that next time or next time around. I want to just show you the basic here, okay? So we do that. We hit OK. All right. Now you look at this, you say, well, nothing changed. I mean, I can still see, 5:15 to 8:15, no difference there. Well, it's because we're still using the standard calendar. So now what we're going to do is go back to Project Información here, right? And we're going to go down to where it says Calendar, and we're going to tell it that we don't want to use the standard. We want to use our 4-day. That's it. You do that. Now look at this. We're ending what on 8:15, right? Hit OK. Look at that. Because we're not working Fridays, we almost add almost a month to everything. Now, a little funny thing here though. When you look at the scale here out here in the Gantt area, it doesn't show Friday with a gray bar, even though Fridays are affected. In other words, it's going right over. Friday is not a work day. Everything here got extended. The duration didn't change, but the length of the bar changed because you now have Fridays that you're not working. So this bar here is 2 segments longer or wider because of Friday here and a Friday here. Okay? So that's what happened. Though it was originally 9 days, it's still 9 days. 9 days of work, 4 days during that of time off, basically, because you're not, or actually 6 days that you're not working. All right, anyway, how do we get it so where it'll show the gray? It'd be nice to see that, right? So what you can do is if you double click onto the time scale, all right, you go to where it says non-working time, we're going to tell it that we want it to show the shading, for our calendar. Even though the calendar is affecting the Fridays, or the projects are being affected by the Fridays being off, we're not seeing the day off, right? So, and I don't know why it does this, it's stupid. But you hit the little drop down, you choose your 4-day, so now you can see how that added there. Hit OK, and there you go. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now, let's go back in and let's create another calendar, and it's a 7-day calendar, okay? Or I'm sorry, where we work 6 days, I'm sorry. So this one's going to be a 6-day calendar, right? So what we'll do here then is we'll go back to our what? Go back to our project, go to our change working time, and we're going to create a new calendar. So what we'll do here, we'll hit create new calendar, but we're going to base that new calendar as a copy of our standard one. So it'll go back to what we had. So in this case, for the original, so we'll call this one now the, before it was the 4-day, now we're going to create a 6-day. All right, so we'll call this one 6-day. All right, there it is. Now we'll go ahead and hit OK. There it is. And now again, we'll go back to work weeks. We'll go into details for our default. And this time what we'll do is we're going to take and click on to Saturday here, which is currently a day off, right? And we're going to set that to being a day to the specific work time. So we click onto here and we say from what? Well, from 8 o'clock. Well, you can just type in 8. It knows what to do. So 8. And then over on the other side, we type in 12. Over here, we type in 1. Over here, we type in 5. And that's it. Or whatever time element you have, or whatever you think. Maybe on Saturdays, maybe it's just a half day that you work, right? So that would change things too. So anyway, so there we go. Hit OK on that. And now you'll notice that Saturday does not have the gray bar there. So it's the only thing that's off is Sunday in this case, right? That's pretty neat. All right, so then we go ahead and hit OK. And then we'll go back into project information, go over to our calendar 4-day, and we're going to choose 6-day. Now, right now we're working, our project is going through what, 9/9, right? Hit OK. Now it's 7/31 because we're working an extra day. Now, we need to change our calendar here, or I'm sorry, our time scale here with the gray. So we'll double click, go to non-working time, and change this from 4-day to 6-day now, right? Hit OK, and there you go. Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to create a third and final calendar, and this is going to be just our standard 5-day work week, okay? But what we're going to do is we're going to add to it holidays, all right? So we'll go back in and we'll go back to our project, change working time, and now we'll go ahead and we'll create a new calendar, all right? We're going to call this one the 5-day how, okay? Oh, all right, make that 5 there, okay? And this is going to be based on our standard calendar, all right? Meaning we're just going to get basically a copy of the standard calendar. We'll hit OK. There it is. And then we'll change that to now the, oh, what happened there? I lost it. What did I do? I did something there. I think I screwed up. Okay, well, I'll do it again here. Sorry about that. So go to new calendar. We're going to call this one the 5-day how, all right? And this is going to be based on the standard calendar. Oh, that's what's happening. It's messing me up. So I got to choose standard first, and then I'll change this one to 5-day how. Okay, there we go. Finally. Hit OK. There we go. So there's our 5-day how. Saturday and Sunday standard. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and instead of going over to work weeks and changing the overall just default to everything. What we're going to do instead is we're going to go to the exceptions and plug in our holidays. All right. So we'll just keep it to the holidays that are within this time frame here. Okay, so our first holiday is going to be Memorial Day. Okay, so in the year 2019, Memorial Day is on 5/27. Okay, so we're going to go over here. We're going to type in Memorial. Let me just do that. All right. Now the start date will be, in this case, 5/27. So we'll bring it up to May 27. All right, there we go. So that's good. So because it's on that day, and the way they figure that out is it's always the last Monday in May is when Memorial Day comes about. So we've got that, all right? And then we'll go over here to the next row, and this one we're going to put in, we'll just put in the 4th, July, I'm doing that again, the 4th, all right? And that's going to be on what day? All right, so we go over here and we change that to July 4. Now, here's our little dilemma. That kind of stinks that it falls on on a Thursday, right? Because what are people going to do? You're gonna kind of have a really, probably easy day on Wednesday. Then Thursday is 4th of July, and then what are you going to do? Come back to work on Friday after, fireworks and beer and everything else. So we're going to extend it to where it's July 4th and July 5th. See, so we'll do the range there. See, that works out good. Another one we have here is the holiday of Festivus. That's Festivus for the rest of us, right, everybody? So Festivus. All right, and then for the start date, we'll say that Festivus is on, we'll say it's in August. And it's actually August 14th. But of course, we want to give everybody the rest of the week off. So it'll be through the 16th. There we go on that one. We're a generous company. All right. And then the last one's going to be Labor Day. So we'll type in Labor Day. All right. I'll do it the European way there. And we got Labor Day, and then of course that's going to be on what? It's always going to be the first Monday in September, right? So that's, in this case, it's going to be on 9/2, all right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to find September. There it is there. And I think what we're going to do is we'll give everybody a little bit of an extra there. So we'll give them a nice 4-day weekend, and we'll go through the 3rd there, right? There we go. All right, so now once we've done that, we'll go ahead and hit OK. All right, there we go. Nothing's changed on here yet until we go back into our project information. And let's first of all set it for the standard, okay? So the standard was the original calendar with nothing. So if we go ahead and look at that, you're talking our project ending on 8/15, right? So exactly a month out, right? Or I'm sorry, 3 months out. So now what we'll do is we'll go back into project information and we'll change our calendar now to the 5-day with holidays, right? So click onto that, hit OK, and there we go. So now instead of being 5, 6, 7, 8, instead of being 8/15, now it's 8/23. So it didn't go out too much, all right? But we do have a few holidays in there. Now, if we want to make sure that we can see those holidays in here, then what do? We go ahead and we double click up here, go to our non-working time, change that to the 5-day holiday, hit OK, and then you'll see in some of the areas, you'll see like a one there, and if we go a little further over, you'll see another one there, and another one towards the end there, and another one as well. So there it is. So pretty cool. Now I've got one more scenario for you, and what this one is that we're going to keep the 5-day work week. We like that one, right? With the holidays. But what we're going to have Fridays where we work just a half a day. So we got half day Fridays. Okay, how about that? All right. What a company, huh? So half day Fridays. How the heck are we going to pull that one off, right? All right, so we're going to go back into our project and go to our change working time, and we're going to go and dig up our 5-day, which we already have up here. But if it wasn't there, we'd pick it from the list, right? Then what we're going to do is we're going to do an exception, all right? So we're not going to go to work weeks and do this because it doesn't give us the ability. So on exceptions, we're just going to go on here, make another one here. We'll just call it maybe half Fridays or something, right? So what we'll do for the starting date of it, we're going to make it for the 1st of January. And this whole thing is going to end on the 1st of January of 2020. All right, so that's when it'll end. All right. Now, other than that, what do we do next? Next thing we're going to go and do is we're going to go here to the details. All right. And we're going to look at weekly. And we're going to go and click on to Friday. All right. And we're going to click on to working times. And we're going to tell on Fridays we work from 8 to 12, but we don't work here, from 1 to 5. So you just click on there, hit delete, it goes away. And this is going to occur every week. I mean, if you wanted every other week, you could choose 2 here, and it would go every other week. And then you tell it when you want it to end. Well, we gave it the range, right? But what we can do, so it'll say there's 147 occurrences. That's not right. That's not it. But what we can do is we're going to say end by, and over here, we'll just say that we want this to be, gotta go back here, it was way out there, okay, to January of 2021, or no, 20, what am I doing here? I'm way out there in the future. All right, so there we go. All right, so that's it. So once we've done that, we go ahead and hit OK. All right. And then we can go ahead and hit OK on that. And because we already had that calendar applied, it changed. All right. So there we go. So I think on here, if you look on this, so it doesn't really change the shading at all because it's like half, and it doesn't really show half shading. But just to make sure, you can double click up here and go to your non-working time, and there's your 5-day holiday. So it's doing the right calendar there. All right. So anyway, or shading the right way. So nonetheless, everything kind of changed because now it's out to 9/5, right? Now let me just show you something. If we go back in, because I didn't specify the date before. So let's do this. I'm going to go back to the, let's see, standard here, right? And then just hit OK. And now that's going out to what, 9/5, right? All right, so we'll go back to project information. And now change this now to the, well, what did I do? I changed the wrong thing there. Well, anyway, let's go back here. So, sorry about that. So we're going to do just the standard. So there's standard, all right? So standard is 8:15. Sorry about that, you guys. So 8:15 for standard, right? So now the one that we have the half days, or actually where we have our holidays and our half day as well, then we'll just go back into change working time. See, that's what I did before. Sorry about that. Project information. Go back here and change that now to our 5-day holiday. Hit OK. Goes on to 9/5. Okay, so there you go. So hopefully this hits home with you guys, and you can start maybe using this, get it kind of modified, because the more accurate your calendar is, the more accurate your project schedule is going to be, right? All right, so appreciate you watching. And I know it's a long video, sorry about that, but we had a lot to cover there. So take care, Appreciate you watching.